Caribbean Week, March 27th to March 31st, and discover the perfect opportunity to obtain a second passport. Live in paradise, enjoy a tropical climate, benefit from tax breaks, and also real estate opportunities. With visa-free travel to over 140 countries, Caribbean Citizenship is the key to exploring the world. Our team of experts will provide you with personalized advice and a free assessment to help you make the right decision. Get the most up-to-date information on citizenship by investment programs through our social media channels, from exclusive interviews with experts to immersive articles and videos. We'll keep you fully informed throughout the Caribbean Week. Mark your calendars now from March 27th to March 31st and discover why the Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Programs are the perfect choice for those who want to live life to the fullest.
Hello, welcome again to Global Lives. Today is Thursday, and this is our fourth and final day of our Global Citizen Solutions Caribbean Week, exploring different aspects of citizenship by investment programs in the Caribbean. I'm here again with Joe Rice, our specialist on all things Caribbean, the star of this video you watched earlier. So previously, we talked about the most affordable programs, you star, and also about the fastest way to get a Caribbean passport. And we looked at the best options for our real estate investors. All our lives are available on our social media and YouTube channel. Okay, now it's over to Joe Rice. What we'll be talking about tonight?
So tonight the theme is a popular one amongst our clients. What are the best CBI programs in the Caribbean for large families? So our viewers today will get up to speed with all they need to know about family members that can be included in the application, the costs, and more.
Okay, nice. Sounds great. But again, before we dive in, let me explain how our Global Lives work in case if it's the first time you're joining us. I will be asking Joe some questions about the 5 citizenship programs in the Caribbean, and then we will open the floor to your questions during the Q&A session. You can join us live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And don't forget to like this video to help us spread the word. So Joe, here is the first question. Why is it so important to have a second passport for the whole family?
Well, first of all, we live in a world where technology makes it possible to communicate immediately with anyone.
Okay.
And anywhere. So we can travel easily and work in many cases from any place on the planet. However, there are barriers like visas, taxes, and movement restrictions that we all experienced during the pandemic.
Of course, yes.
So having that passport means more flexibility, opening more opportunities around the globe. For example, as I've mentioned before, with a Caribbean passport, you can travel to over 140 countries without the need for a visa, including the Schengen states in Europe, the United Kingdom, Singapore, and Hong Kong. It means you can travel at short notice. And in the case of the United Kingdom, you can stay for 6 months each year.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So having that second citizenship can also be helpful when it comes to taxes. In the Caribbean, for example, there's no tax on worldwide income, inheritance, or capital gains. Okay? So in short, if you have more than one passport, you can look for solutions in the whole world, not only in your country of birth. And it can include education opportunities, healthcare, housing, cost of living, everything really.
Okay.
And if your whole family can have a second passport, then everybody has that flexibility.
Yes. Nice. Right. So thanks for the explanation. So now tell us, how is it possible to become a Caribbean citizen by investment?
Well, if you've seen all of our Caribbean videos, you'll probably know by now that there are 5 countries in the region that have citizenship by investment programs.
Okay. Which are?
I should test you, but I'll tell you anyway. They
Don't
are
test me.
Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia.
Okay. I knew them anyway. I know them.
Sure. All 5 programs work in a similar way with some differences between them. To break it down, you can make an investment in the country and in exchange, you'll receive citizenship. It's basically as simple as that.
It's simple, yeah. Okay.
This investment can be a donation to a government fund, the purchase of a property, a business establishment, and so on.
Okay. Right. So please explain to me again how these investments work.
Okay. Well, here we go. Each of the 5 countries that I mentioned have their specific list of investment opportunities that are eligible for the CBI programs. Some countries offer 3 or 4 options, others offer 2. So I will start with the 2 that I think are the most important.
Okay.
First type of investment is to make a donation to a government fund, create support initiatives in education, infrastructure, and more. In short, projects to improve the conditions for the population, basically.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So the minimum donation depends on the number of family members who will be included in the application. Usually the donation for a single person ranges between $100 to $150,000. And for a family of 4, the amount can be from $100 to $200,000.
Okay.
It is possible to add more family members, but obviously this will incur
As expected,
fees.
yeah.
So the second investment route is to buy properties or shares of property developments that have been pre-approved by the government.
We covered yesterday.
Yes, we did. And it means in most cases shares of resorts, hotels, or other high-end tourist accommodation. And in some cases, you can buy private homes as well.
Okay.
Applicants have to make a minimum investment starting at $200,000 or $220,000 and keep the property for 3 to 7 years before reselling it, depending on where they purchase.
Okay.
So although the minimum investment is fixed, with this option, there are some additional government fees that, as you can imagine, depending on the number of the people in the application, it changes. So larger families tend to pay slightly more.
Okay.
Now, apart from these 2 options, some countries offer additional investment routes, such as purchasing government bonds that must be kept for at least 5 years, and that's the case in St. Lucia, or establish a business enterprise, as in Antigua and Barbuda. With Antigua and Barbuda, you can make a contribution to a university fund, and this is an excellent opportunity for large families, but I'll explain a little bit more.
Okay, fine. I would like to know more about that one. Yeah. So in all these cases, you can add as many family members as you want, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, you can include as many as you'd like, as long as you pay the additional fees for each. And of course, as long as they're eligible to be included in the program, according to the rules of each of the programs for each of the countries.
Okay. So tell us more, Joe, what family members can receive a passport once they are in the same application?
Okay, so all these Caribbean programs are very family friendly. So the requirements for family members are very inclusive. The main applicant can include, of course, his or her spouse and children up to 25 or 30 years old. That's depending on the country. Parents and grandparents, and in some cases, siblings can also be added.
Okay.
So I think we have a slide that shows these
great.
options. So if we could possibly put that slide up just to give a brief
Yes, I
recap
can
of
see
that.
our production team is putting it here. Okay, so following freedom for your whole family, following family members may apply. So Antigua and Barbuda, we've got, so I'm turning around here just so you can see. Under age 30, age 55 or over, unmarried, for dependent siblings. I mean, I don't want to repeat everything that is on the table, but is there any highlights here they would like to bring?
No, I mean, this just shows the similarities, but then there's also the slight differences in the ages and stuff like that.
Okay.
But, you know, obviously, if somebody wants to contact us, I can send it over to them just so they have it. It's all pretty self-explanatory.
Okay. Okay, great. So, yeah.
Now,
carry on.
Yeah. So there is one important point, is that when I say children, parents or siblings, they can be the main applicant or the spouse's relatives. So, for example, one family can include 2 sets of parents and 2 sets of grandparents.
All right. Okay. And I can see that the table used the word dependents. What exactly does it mean?
Well, usually it means that this is a family member who is financially supported by the applicant or the applicant's spouse. The person may or may not live with the applicant. This is something that can be assessed basically case by case.
Okay.
So, for example, if you have an adult child under 25 years old in full-time education, it's natural that this child would live most of the year in the university accommodation, but they're clearly eligible.
Okay. All right, great. So can any number of family members be added?
It tends to be like that, but there are programs with investment options that are more affordable for families.
Which is a case of?
Antigua and Barbuda has some great options. The first of them is the minimum donation to the government fund is $100,000. And that's whether you apply by yourself or if you apply as a family of 4. And the government fee of $30,000 is also the same for up to 4 people in the application.
Okay.
But if the family is much larger, they offer only for families of 6 or more the option to make a donation of $150,000 to the University of the West Indies Fund, which is the one I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And there's no government fee in this case.
Okay, so that's great news for investors.
Yeah, and the great thing with this also is this donation entitles one family member to a 1-year bursary study only at the university.
Wow, that's amazing. Right. Okay, so that's covered. Now let's think a second passport for the whole family and a scholarship. Not bad at all. But I'm being a bit of devil's advocate here. I'm sorry. All these options involve donations, right? What if an applicant who is watching us has a large family but really wants to invest in real estate?
Well, in this case, the client who would need to decide if they want to go with the share option or if they want a freestanding home.
Okay.
Now, with a freestanding home, you can earn rental income if you're not looking to relocate immediately. Or if, for example, you only want to live there for a certain amount of time during the year, maybe use as a summer home or something like that. And then in both cases, of course, there are due diligence fees for those that are old enough.
Okay, that's clear. Right, thank you, Joe.
No problem.
So now we will open the Q&A. But I just wanted to say that these lives for the Caribbean Week, they're very short. This is our last one. And so we only have time for about 5 questions. But if you still, if you don't hear me asking your question to Joe, do not worry, because our production team is here busy typing away your answer. Okay, so just keep putting your questions there. Don't give up. So let's see here. Right, so we've got a couple of questions. Let's start with this one. It's an interesting one. Is it possible to add a partner as a family member even if we are not married yet?
Well, yep. No need to wait. In Antigua
Good,
and Barbuda, in Antigua and Barbuda, you can include a future spouse in the application.
Okay.
And also, even after the end of the citizenship process, it's possible to include family members at a later date. One example is if you have a baby in a few years' time, you can just get in contact with the CBI committee and ask for an inclusion.
Okay, so that's as simple. Right, so let's go to the next one. Is there a limit to how many people can be included in the application?
Is that no answer? As long as all the relatives are within the requirements, you can add as many family members as you like. Don't forget that there'll be extra fees for the extra family members.
Okay, right. Was missing your no answers.
I know, it's all yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking of applying to St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. This is a question I'm reading, okay? I'm not thinking of applying.
Well, maybe you will.
Maybe, yeah. So I'm thinking of applying to St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. I have an adult son who is turning 26 in the next few months. Can I include him in my application?
Okay, so, well, you have 2 options. If you submit the application before your son's birthday, then it will be processed with his age at the time of the application.
Okay.
The alternative, if you can't prepare the application in time, then you should apply for another Caribbean CBI program. The 4 other programs have a limit of 30 years old. So to apply for Dominica, you'll have to be in full-time education.
Okay.
But for the other programs, the other 3 programs, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, and St. Lucia, you can include adult children up to 30 years old, as long as they're supported by you.
Okay. All right. Great. So I think we've got them all here. There are a couple of questions that I can see our production team is answering now. So I'll leave that one to them. And yeah, we've reached the time limit, and it's the end. It's the end of the Caribbean Week. And but this live will be published on our YouTube channel shortly. So you can always watch it again and leave questions in the comment section for our team. Now, a pause here. Basically, Joe, I think I said that in the previous live, so I'll repeat it. He will be in the USA doing a mini roadshow. It can't be mini because that country is very big, but he will be in key cities, seeing people that are interested in investing in the Caribbean citizenship. So if it's your case, if you're based in the USA, get in touch with Joe, okay? So if you like the idea of becoming a citizen by investments in the Caribbean, visit our website, globalcitizensolutions.com, to find out more, or book a half-an-hour chat with Joe. Thank you, Joe. Have a lovely trip.
I will, thank you.
And I'll see you soon.
Yep, take care. Caribbean Week, March 27th to March 31st, and discover the perfect opportunity to obtain a second passport. Live in paradise, enjoy a tropical climate, benefit from tax breaks, and also real estate opportunities. With visa-free travel to over 140 countries, Caribbean citizenship is the key to exploring the world. Our team of experts will provide you with personalized advice and a free assessment to help you make the right decision. Get the most up-to-date information on citizenship by investment programs through our social media channels, from exclusive interviews with experts to immersive articles and videos. We'll keep you fully informed throughout the Caribbean Week. Mark your calendars now from March 27th to March 31st and discover why the Caribbean Citizenship by Investment Programs are the perfect choice for those who want to live life to the fullest.